This goes out to all the women in the world, especially her. You know it don't even matter your age, don't even matter your color. Your fellas, I ain't forget about y'all. This is for everybody that like the things. Just listen to what I'm saying and do it and take a chance. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll and grind. Just get on the floor like I said before. Y'all remember that down low? Just put little dips with it. Now roll those hips with it. Pop it, push it, rock it, roll it. Can't control it, I come hold it. It's all in fun, so take a chance. Just get on the floor and do that dance, y'all. I know you like it, so don't try to fight it. Turn around, baby, let me see you from the back. Yeah, I like it like that. Get up now, roll those hips. Drop down, double up on those dips. Freak nasty, wanna see, can y'all do it right? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll and grind. Back again with the second verse. It's all clean, so I'm not gonna curse. Dropping bass like a bad habit. Love all women, cause I gotta have it. Coming at y'all in stereo. I'm riding that thing like a rodeo. Hang on, baby, cause the ride is rough, and I got my girls in the front. Now and later, just bumping that rump. Raise it up, let me see that brown. Slap it, girl, make it jiggle around. Round and round that rump goes. Where it stop, yo, no one knows, yeah. Freak nasty, wanna see, can y'all do this right? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll and grind.
Well, all right, y'all. All right, y'all. If you ain't dipping, you must be tripping. If you ain't doing it down low, gots to go. Gots to go. To the people that moving slow, to the dance floor. Yo, DJ, pump it up some more.
It's off to the show in a limo. Before the show, I gotta get that dough. Pay them girls what they work. Slip that money under that skirt. Take it off, baby, let me see. You might get a little more Lucci. G-string, having oh so much fun. Playing inside between them buns. Shawty got it going on like Marvin. Teasing me and she know I'm starving. Lick you up, then lick you down. I ain't finished, girl, turn around. Lick you up and down your back, cause I'm that freak, I'm freaky like that. Freak nasty, wanna see, can y'all do this right? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put yours, then I put mine. Then we can dip down low and roll and grind. I'm setting it off to another level. You digging freak nasty without a shovel? This is my world. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut. So what's up, yo DJ? When the party's getting slow, join this jam and watch that flow get taken over like in '94 when I had the whole world getting down low. New Orleans born, ATL living. Freak nasty is what I'm giving. My juice is sweet like Georgia peaches. Women suck it up like leeches. It feels so good, you must admit you like this. Shh, yeah, y'all know the song. So come on, won't you sing it? I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. You put your hand up on my hip. When you dip, I dip, we dip. I put my hand up on your hip.
All right, chat. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing? Chat's asking if I'm doing Wednesday and Sunday. I don't know. I might start doing like Sunday chill streams, like not get heavy into any kind of news story, but just bullshit. If there's if there's any demand for it, I don't know. If y'all send super chats, just send them super chats. Keep me live. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, the Bulbasaur hour. Yeah, so Wednesday's 9 this week. I think I might make it 9 permanently, to be honest. I don't know, man. I get up so goddamn late in the afternoon. I struggle to get up at 1 because my schedule's so late now. I'm not usually, when I work, I'm not done until like 3 in the morning. So all the shit I do on Wednesday kind of, I have to like hurry the fuck up. But I don't know. Plus, there's a lot of people that like they could probably be on the show more regularly if I bump it to 9. So I think I might bump it to 9. But this week we're bumping it to 9, definitely. Oh, I'm sniffing like quartering or DSP over here. Fucking allergies, man. Pollen's still brutal out there. Plus, I'm fat and I'm old and I'm out of shape and I'm dying. Everything's just falling apart on me. Just held together by undiagnosed diabetes and rage. That's just. Speaking of which, I am enjoying a soda right now because I'm fat and disgusting like that. It's a Mexican soda. What do you call these? Jarritos? I call it a Jarritos because I'm American. That's how we say the J here. Chet says you can use your extra hour to read new comments. I mean, that is part of the Wednesday stuff I need to do. Make no mistake. That is part of the Wednesday stuff. Like Wednesday, though, is my day off each week. I have, frankly, more days off than I should right now. My hours aren't as high as they should be. But consistently, Wednesday is the day I know I have off. So Wednesday is the day things get scheduled for. You know, if the old man if I have to run his old elderly ass up to the VAs for some medical stuff, I tell him schedule that shit on Wednesdays. So, you know, usually packing a lot of shit in on Wednesdays. Speaking of the old man, I had to explain to him quartering lore today. Like, because he knows who the quartering is, kind of. Because at least up until a month or so ago, Rumble used to push the quartering's bullshit on the front page. So my dad would see, oh no, what is woke Disney doing this time? And watch the quartering is like, yeah, he doesn't like the Black Little Mermaid either, or whatever. Whatever the woke thing is now we're complaining about, I don't know. I'm almost checked out of that. So he's like, what happened? Why does everyone not like the quartering anymore? And I'm like, wow, okay, well, I mean, first of all, I didn't like him for years. But okay, how much do I? And then I'm thinking, like, do I really want to start? Because the simple explanation is that people made fun of him and he falls flat. That is the core of it all. That is the elevator pitch of this fucking saga. But there's so much more. One bit of lore that I think's getting ignored that's really fucked up. So Chrissy Mayer, of course, decided to go down with the quartering ship for whatever reason. And she's imploding as a result. And good, because she sucks. But she just mentions casually in these streams that she's nursing her 2-year-old. And we all kind of gloss over that because there's so much lore in this saga. There's more lore than the fucking Marvel universe. So everybody's like, just what more can you do, you know? But like, you're nursing your 2-year-old? And I did kind of mention that little tidbit as I was going over this with the old man. And then he told me something I didn't know, which is even more gross. So the actress that, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, nor do I even care that much, but the actress that played Amy in The Big Bang Theory, and she was Blossom. If you're old, you might remember Blossom, a very special Blossom. And apparently she hosted Jeopardy recently. Jeopardy is apparently still on. Okay. Anyways, and this was apparently a big controversial. This was a big controversy I didn't even catch at the time, though. I don't remember if I heard it. She was nursing her kid till he was like 5. Which is all manner of fucked up. Like the Christian Mayer doing it till he's 2 is pretty fucked up. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Once you're like 4 or 5, you're reaching a point where you're like, you're pretty much self-aware now. You pretty much have like a genuine self-awareness about you at this point. You're forming lifelong memories at this point. Like, I have vague memories of when I was 4. And I remember a good amount of shit from when I was 5. Now, not all of it. I mean, I don't remember all of what I did last week. But I have lifelong memories from that time. And thankfully, none of them included my mother putting her fucking tit in my mouth. Thankfully. You would think that's a given, but apparently not. Yes, Chrissy is nursing her unvaccinated 2-year-old and converting to Catholicism. Well, that's the grift. That's the great grift right now. Trad Christianity is the big grift. You don't want to convert to like regular Protestant Christianity. That's cringe. It's too pro-Israel, which I do agree. It's too pro-Israel. But yeah, you don't want an actual relationship with God. That's cringe. You want to make sure you find religion, but not God. That's where the grift is. That's where the money is. And that's where Chrissy is. But yeah, nursing her 2-year-old, I'm like, we're all just glossing over that fact. Like, I understand there's a lot going on here, but I kind of feel like we should have pressed her a bit on that. I don't think Chrissy should be like, I always say like porn stars shouldn't be mothers, and Chrissy is like a step above that. Like, I really think Chrissy just was too chicken to get into porn. Or she just stumbled onto like being a stand-up comedian that's never actually done stand-up comedy. But yeah, so I explained the old man. I'm like, okay, well, let's start at the beginning. So Quarterine's a cuck. It's a literal, not like, oh, he didn't vote the way you did kind of insult. No, he literally a cuckold. He watches his wife get fucked by a Jewish bull. She's getting the Mossad meat missile. And some people made fun of that because it's funny. And he didn't like that. So he decided that they weren't allowed to talk anymore. The free speech warrior, because there's the real meat of it. The free speech warrior decided other people weren't allowed to have free speech because they were making fun of him personally, even though he makes fun of people personally all the fucking time. Like, that's just the thing he does for a living. Oh, they're harassing me. You made like 400 videos about fucking Brie Larson because she made a Marvel movie you don't like. You know? Jack Murphy got outed as a cuck, and we all laughed. We all made memes with his goofy beard, and we had some laughs. And you were among us, Corey. You were also having some laughs. Okay? And now people are having some laughs about you. And you didn't like that. So you decided to burn it all down. And that's what you did, Corderin. That's the fun part about it. Like, he's finished. His views are in the toilet. His YouTube channel is being kept alive solely by shorts, which are them making him more of a joke because they're stolen content. Yeah, it's it's a lot of fun. We're all laughing at you, Corderin. And all you had to do was take a joke and not use your YouTube connections to shut down everyone making fun of you. And then, you know, you wouldn't, I mean, you'd still be bad off, Corderin, because you were circling the drain beforehand, but it wouldn't be this bad. Hey, Forney, how's it going?
And going well. I was just painting my dick blue in anticipation of joining the pagan cult.
Oh, cool. I was telling my dad earlier today, my 72-year-old dad, I unpacked the Quartering drama for him.
Yeah, I heard that. With regards to what you were talking about, with what was it, Melanie Mack or Chrissy Mayer? I kind of get these people confused. They go to Catholicism because, like, you can't stunt when you join an evangelical church. It's like they're into it for the pretty buildings, the ornate prayers, being able to have a gigantic cross necklace. To them, it's a fashion statement. You can't fashion statement with evangelicalism or non-denominationalism, whatever. It's like, ew, a strip mall church. I can't post this on Instagram. I look so declassed. Whereas Catholicism just allows them to. It's just nothing but a fashion statement.
I heard a comic book writer one time talk about like, why is it when Christianity is like, when it's shown in comic books, it's always like very Catholic. And the person said, because comic books are a very melodramatic and visual medium. Which I was like, well, there's that, yeah. And also a lot of the writers live in cities where that's the main form of Christianity they're exposed to. But I do think primarily it's because, Catholicism is a big over-the-top comic booky, cartoony fucking version of Christianity.
I mean, you also brought up the cities thing. Like, a lot of them come from places in New York and whatnot. Like, you don't really find evangelicalism as most Americans would perceive it in a place like New York. I remember 10 years ago during the New York primary, one of my friends was describing Ted Cruz as he's a character you don't really see in New York, the kind of slimy preacher type.
Evangelicalism, Protestantism in this country is much more in the South, culturally and really physically too.
Well, South and Midwest. I mean, there's a lot of them in your state.
There's a guy I listen to on the radio, and I'm not even sure if he's still alive, but I know he retired in 2017. But they play his sermons. He actually had an evangelical church in New York City from like 89 to 2017.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't exist.
I really like his sermons. That's just what Tim Keller is his name. That's why I bring him up.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't exist in a place near you. They're just not common. That's generally a New York thing in general. It's like white people are generally either Catholic or some mainline Protestant church, like Methodism or Episcopalianism. Blacks or I remember describing this to a friend of mine who grew up in Colorado. Was surprised to find out I was Catholic. He was like, in Colorado, the white people go to nice white people churches, and Catholicism was for Mexicans. Whereas like in Syracuse, like almost all white people are Catholic, and like Protestantism is like the black churches.
I also notice, and this could be like a chicken and an egg thing, which causes which, but I noticed there's a strong anti-urban cultural mindset in evangelicalism, where it's not even that they hate the cities because there's a Democrat mayor or there's too much crime or something. They just kind of hate even the good parts of living in a city. You know what I mean? They're very attached to more rural ways of life. Even if even if there's some suburban mom, they LARP as some rural cowgirl. They're listening to country music or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's very much a suburban / rural phenomenon.
And I don't know if that's caused by where the churches are, or maybe the churches spring up there because they have something inherent in them culturally that they don't like the city. But conservative evangelicals despise big cities, and not even for reasons that you should, but just inherently. They don't like the good parts of living in a city.
Well, if you want to attribute it to, I don't know, like land costs, it's a lot easier to build in a suburb than it is the city. I mean, I moved to Austin recently. Well, I live in one of the suburbs. I won't say where, but like down the street, like there's 3 evangelical churches, like right next to each other. Now that's a very, very Texas site. They wouldn't be able to do this in Austin itself. It's city, but it's still pretty compact. The land prices are a lot higher, and it's also a lot less safe. You've got all the fucking bums on 6th Street now, and East Austin is occupied by spirit Americans. Those are all factors I think that go into it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of reasons to avoid a city right now. It's just I've always found that they seem to just inherently dislike it, like on a visceral level. Like even if the cities are nice and safe and clean, they just don't like it culturally.
Yeah. I mean, it might just be a case of them meeting their congregants where they are. You're obviously more immersed into this, so I think you would know better. But like my general observation, again, I think it has to do with safety land use, and but yeah, you are right. There's just a general anti-urban mentality among evangelicals and non-denoms.
I find also because like all those parachurch ministries, the guys that have their sermons on the radio and you're focused on the families and shit like that, like they're all based in the South primarily. And that sort of becomes almost the Hollywood of evangelical culture. It sort of becomes their, like, I've heard people joke before that James Dobson was like the Oprah of evangelicals. He's the thing that the stay-at-home moms watched or listened to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Well, again, you're discounting that there's a significant presence in the Midwest. I mean, your nemesis. I'm sorry, I'm blanking his name.
James McDonald. Yeah, he's out of Chicago.
Yeah, suburbs of Chicago. It's there's a lot of them in Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, Wisconsin. Though there's a different character there, particularly when you observe with politics. If you recall, 10 years ago, it was Southern evangelicals were very pro-Trump. It was Midwesterners who were very, very shaky on that.
I found that a lot of areas of the country, like the Bible Belt in the South is the famous one, but there's a lot of areas in the country that little Bible belts spring up in. I mean, Lancaster County is a great example. I mean, this, we have a Friday Night Lights culture around here that damn near rivals Texas.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you ride down the Lincoln Highway from Pittsburgh east, like it's nothing but megachurch here, Christian Bible camp, You start to see
everything about Pennsylvania except for the cities is as red and evangelical as you could imagine.
Oh yeah. That's where you get the whole joke that Pennsylvania is Pittsburgh in the west, Philadelphia in the east, and Alabama in the middle.
Yeah, and then when you get into like, if you've ever been in the rural areas around Pittsburgh, it is like just pure Appalachia too, just culturally. I don't know if geographically it is off the top of my head, but
oh yeah. I mean,
it's very.
Yeah, the Appalachians, I mean, run all the way to New Hampshire, but the Catskills are not like that in New York.
Culturally, it's exactly like that because Pittsburgh does not have a lot of urban sprawl compared to a lot of other cities. You get kind of right out of Pittsburgh and it just suddenly becomes nothing.
Well, I mean, it's kind of geographically constricted. I mean, Pittsburgh is wedged into a river fork. So like they just don't have a lot of room to spread out.
Yes, true. Yeah. But there's just not a lot of suburbs around it like you'd think. I mean, there's a little bit. I'm not acting like there's nothing, but like compared to other cities, it's night and day.
I mean, the New York suburbs now just run up to like Poughkeepsie and Kingston if you're counting people who go and work into the city and then come back home. That's about an 100 mile difference.
Yeah. It's weird. I've traveled this country just in like not as much as you, but just enough to see a bit of difference. And it's odd how you can, move 3 hours down the road and it's like a different country.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of places like that. Now, I was a couple of weeks back. I was at a meeting of JBS, the John Birch Society, and one of the organizers from Dallas, and he described Texas as kind of being like 5 states in one. There's parts of it that are southern, there are parts of it that are western. There's even parts of it that are midwestern. It's kind of a place that doesn't really. It's a bit like West Virginia, and that it doesn't really fit neatly into a category. Like, we're asking a friend from West Virginia, is like, is West Virginia a southern state or a midwestern state or a northern state? And he's like, oh, it's all three.
Yeah, West Virginia is its own category. And that little tail of Maryland that's up on top of it, that's just West Virginia.
Oh, no.
Culturally speaking, that is 100% West Virginia.
Oh, yeah, very fun place. I always enjoyed driving down the highway and passing by. I'm afraid to say this on YouTube, but Negro Mountain.
The Northern Maryland is insanely conservative. As much of a blue state as Maryland is, Northern Maryland is so conservative, and there's a lot of rednecks, and there's also a lot of rich people that are into horses.
Yeah, I remember arguing with a friend of Iowa, remember arguing with a friend in Iowa about this, and he was like, "Wait, what? Like you're naming Maryland as a redneck state?" I'm like, "You never been to Western Maryland or like the South Shore, like like south and east of D.C. You see a lot of Confederate flags."
Oh god, yeah, Northern Maryland. I mean, whenever I drive down there, like you got to get down to like basically Bel Air before it starts to even be a little bit urban or suburban. Like it is it's more redneck than Lancaster County. Like directly below it, it's
Yeah, I've got a friend who is obsessed with Maryland for some reason, even though he's not from there. He's from York, Pennsylvania. He's like, Maryland is America in miniature. It's the greatest state, and he even loves Baltimore for some reason, which is
well, Baltimore about 20 to 30 years ago was a beautiful city. Now, Baltimore now is, oh my God, it's post-apocalyptic in spots. There's spots you drive through in Baltimore and like you could easily film a fucking zombie movie there. Like one that takes place 5 years after the outbreak because it's just, dandelions grown up in the middle of the road.
like Detroit level.
Yeah, there's sections of Baltimore that are just absolutely post-apocalyptic. Like
Actually, I recall, like, if you look at the most violent cities in North America, it's all cities in Mexico, but then you get to the bottom of the list, it's Baltimore's on the list.
Yeah, I believe that. Baltimore's rough, man. Like, I wanted to go to the aquarium for a while because at least when I was a kid, they had a really super nice fucking aquarium. Like, I went a few times with my dad. I even went on like a school trip and shit. It was really nice. But I just don't want to fucking go to Baltimore. I mean, I go down to Maryland all the time. I go down to Waldorf where I grew up and fucking Annapolis and shit. But I just don't want to go into Baltimore anymore. It just sucks.
I mean, is Waldorf still nice? I mean, my understanding that's in a primarily black county now.
Yeah, but Waldorf is like military blacks. Waldorf is 100% basically a suburb of Andrews Air Force Base, which is a huge Air Force base that also has a ton of Navy.
So it's Downton 10th Central.
Yeah, there's a lot of blacks. There's a lot of like everybody. It's almost like New York in that regard. Because again, it's just military town. But Waldorf is still pretty damn nice. Especially given its demographics. And it was super nice when I grew up. I mean, it was well-to-do suburb in the 80s and 90s. It was fucking peak America. But I go down there a lot. It's still pretty damn nice. Again, because it's just military blacks. Like it's not ghetto nogs, like it's not. Now you get into like PG County around the county that like wraps around DC. That's something special.
I distinctly recall a year ago that the media was complaining that the Doge cuts would hit that area disproportionately because a lot of the blacks that are working the civil service, and I'm like, good.
Probably, yeah, because again, it's a very government town. I mean, it's like I said, the military is probably it's damn near its primary employer. Certainly,
well, I will say,
share employer, you know what I mean?
Well, I will say that DC itself has kind of cleaned up its act. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the National Guard deployment. When I was down there last November, it was actually pretty nice. A lot safer than New York, actually, and a lot more stringent about the rules. You don't have. I only encountered one bum while I was there. Well, to be fair, I was only there for a couple of days, but like only one bum. Nothing crazy going on in the streets. Even the metro runs on time now, which is amazing because the metro used to be so fucking bad. There was an incident when I was at the bus station of this obviously homeless person who wouldn't leave the bus shelter. But aside from that, no, I don't have too many complaints.
Yeah, I have never even seen a single homeless person in Waldorf. Certainly not when I grew up there, but even all the times I had down there, never seen a single one. Now, I mean, again, it's just, maybe there's some hiding out in the fucking woods, but every damn neighborhood is run by an HOA. I mean,
oh yeah, same in my suburb. I mean, if there was a homeless person wandering around, I'm quite sure the police would show up almost immediately.
Now, I mean, at least when I was a kid, every section of it that wasn't like developed was very deep woods. And I do remember like quite a few like rather hastily constructed cabins in the middle of the woods. So there might have been homeless bums in the woods, but I never actually saw one. I did find porn in the woods because back in the 80s and 90s, you used to find porn in the woods.
Oh yeah, I'm
I
quite
don't
sure
think that happens anymore. But back then, you can find. I found porno tapes in the woods.
everyone has a fucking story like that. I mean, I found fucking Playboys in the woods in the park near my house when I was a kid.
When I was like 13, there was an abandoned bus in the woods because there was always abandoned vehicles in the fucking woods. So far in the woods, you have no idea how it got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think don't eat like this bus was fucking teleported into these woods. I don't know, but I of course climbing it because you're a dumb kid. And up at the front, I see like a big bag that looks kind of like new. You know what I mean? And I opened it up, and there were 2 like 4-hour long each porno tapes in there. You know, the ones that just have like random scenes like stitched together in a big compilation. And I knew how to make copies because most of the movies we had as a kid, my dad rented one and rigged the 2 VCRs together and made a copy.
Oh, my parents did that all the time.
So I knew how to hook the 2 VCRs together. So I had the idea. I was like, well, I bet you some of my friends would give me money for a porno tape. So I went in with about a $10, I think it was at the time, investment of getting some blank tapes. And I made about like 120 or 140 bucks. And this is 1996 money too, by the way. And I would have kept going, but I was afraid of getting caught. I was always so afraid of getting caught with shit like that. So I didn't, I didn't want some kid get like, this kid's selling porno tapes at school.
See, now that's American entrepreneurship right there. You learn the spirit of capitalism at a young age.
I should have left a copy back in the woods as a tribute to the porno fairy. I think the reason that doesn't happen anymore is that she died in 9/11. She worked for the Pentagon. she was that's what they were trying. That's who they were after with that whole operation.
She got crowded out by PornTube. They just stole her entire market share. She had to retire.
They turned her into energy, and that energy became the internet. Al Gore did that. He captured her and put her in a computer, and now we have the internet.
She tried to astral project in the Area 51, and they captured her soul and put it in a battery.
But yeah, you just always found porn in the woods. It was fucking what a peak America. Oh man, just absolute peak America.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that Zoomers have missed all this. I mean, they regularly go after you. They went after me like last week because someone tweeted about how like alcohol consumption is way down, and I just commented, "Zoomers are losers," part 6,000 whatever in a series, and they all fucking flipped out. It's like, oh, yeah, you beat a man who's getting drunk like a soy millennial. It's like amazingly, but pal, I don't drink. I don't drink that much. You can drink alcohol without becoming an alcoholic. I don't explain why none of them can get laid because they're all smoking weed, and instead weed kills your libido and alcohol like facilitates it.
I don't even know if they're smoking weed anymore. I don't think they're doing anything. That's what
they're either
through the Zoomers. They just sort of just fucking rot in front of their phone all day. Like they don't do anything, good or bad.
They've got a new term for it called bed rotting. That's when you just sit in your bed all day playing on your phone.
It's better to be a bad person than not even be a person, Zoomers. Like that's something you really need to understand. It is better to be a bad person than not even be a person.
I've come around to the view that a bad
person could get their soul saved.
Yeah. I've come around to the view that people need to make these kinds of mistakes in order to, mature into a wiser person. I know there was one particularly flippant Zoomer who replied to that. It was like, "You are nothing. You're just a soy millennial. Like I won't poison my body with alcohol, and my penis will only ever enter a single vagina." And I'm just thinking, yeah, this is the kind of person. Yeah, the Zoomer proclaims his virginity after his penis has been bent into a 45-degree angle from gooning. See, that's what makes it so false to me. Like when Zoomers act like they're doing this out of they can't get laid because they're like moral or Christian or whatever. No, you can't get laid because you can't maintain eye contact with anyone in a normal social interaction.
Yeah, you're not going out and like getting involved in your church and meeting some girl or something. Like, no, like you're just doing nothing. You know, you're just doing fucking nothing. Like, I've never been drunk in my fucking life. Okay. But I drank. It just makes me sleepy. So I end up wanting to take a nap before I reach the drunk part. But whatever, man. You can, there's nothing wrong with alcohol. You know, if you ever crack open your Bible, you'd know the sinless Lamb of God drank.
Yeah, I mean, I don't drink.
You want to go find a girl. Like, you should.
Yeah, I mean, like.
I discovered porn for the first time when I was probably like 12, maybe even 11. I stumbled onto like my dad's tape hidden in a fucking drawer, you know what I mean? Yeah. And watched some of it. But it's like, all it did to me was make me say, wow, that's cool. I want to find a girl and do that. You know, or these Zoomers are like, I jerked off so much and I gooned for 4 hours a day and my peener don't work no more. And I'm like, and they're like 20. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Your peener don't work no more. You're 20. Well, I jerked off too much. I'm like, I haven't missed a day since like the end of 5th grade. What is too much? How much are you doing it?
Yeah, I mean, like that's where stuff like pneumonitis, dyspneas, and arthritis contracture becoming very, very common.
I don't know, man.
I'm sure I've mentioned that on the show. Do not Google that, anyone. It is when your penis develops scar tissue that causes it to bend in an unnatural angle when erect. It's very painful.
How do you do that to yourself? The only time I ever heard of that happening when I was a young man is like somebody caught themselves in their zipper or something like that, like some sort of accident. You know what I mean?
Oh, no,
not you rug burned your penis to death with your fucking hand.
That's bullshit. It's like when I heard all these stories when I used to work for the Dick Device Company, because our device, in addition to treating ED, also purported to treat pneumonitis. And it's all weird fucking shit. My favorite was an Indian who claimed, his penis was at an angle, so he tried to set it correctly in the way that like if you've seen the scene in Blade Runner where Harrison Ford has his fingers broken and he sets them back, and it's like, I heard a cracking and sound. I couldn't get an erection since. I'm like, no fucking wonder, dude.
God. I don't know. These fucking Zoomers will tell stories about how like they're addicted. I'll see the ads, like the church, parachurch services that are like, we'll help you quit porn or whatever. And the dude in the ad will be like, I was looking at porn for like 6 hours a day. And I'm like, how much time do you have? Like, don't you have a job? What are you talking about 6 hours? I don't do anything for 6 hours a day except work.
Yeah, or sleep.
Like, you know, maybe if I take my fucking time, I'll jerk off for like 30 minutes on a rare occasion, you know, where you're really taking your time on it.
The issue I see with Zoomers is that they have this, they exist in this weird parallel state where they're both absolute degenerates, yet weirdly foolish at the same time.
That is so, I've been saying that for so long, where it's like you're sanitized, but you're not wholesome. You'll see this from left-wing Zoomers where they're like, they have all these fucking genders and all, and like he, him, and I'm a pansexual demi-fairy or whatever, but they're afraid of seeing titties in a movie.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Have you seen the movie www.rachelwarlock.com? That's basically
not, no.
Well, if it's screening in your area, you should go check it out, because it's basically about this. It's about a Zoomer woman who's raised by an advertising agency her entire life. And all she knows is this weird self-gratification. She lives in a little goon cave. She's masturbating with an anime doll. Yeah, the first time she sees actual pornography, like people fucking on stage, she's like horrified and screaming, and it's like, oh my god, what's going on? You had consumers exist in this sort of space where they'll goon for 6 hours a day, but they're horrified by the thought of sex with a woman.
Every time in the past few months that one of my tweets have gone viral and like Zoomers are mad at me, or you're both with the evangelical one, and then I think it was recently I told them to, go get a titty in your mouth, and then one of them posted a video scrolling through my timeline, and I just post like, thirst traps from hot chicks and all. And none of it's even nude. You know what I mean? It's all like Maxim level shit. You know what I mean? It's PG-13 shit. And they're like, look at this guy posting porn. I'm like, that's not porn, bro. Yeah, he's just posted these girls that are pretty. And I'm like, yeah, I like looking at pretty girls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but it's like you're not shoving hardcore porn in my face.
No, I don't tweet porn. I tweet shit that was in like Maxim 30 years ago. I'm like, hey, look, this chick is in shorts. Isn't that cool?
Just some artful sexuality.
But no, they're like, oh, look at this gooner here. I'm like, the same people that will say they would jerk off for 6 hours at a time will be like, oh, you actually like attractive women. You're a gooner. I'm like, yeah, I guess, bro. I like looking at pretty girls. I don't know what to tell you.
When they get in their bank accounts back and got like OnlyFans.
But no, the weird complaints I'd hear from them where it's like, you just like looking at pretty girls. It's like, yeah, I do. Don't you? Yeah. I thought we were all in agreement on that.
Yeah, well, have you had your T levels checked? Like,
are you into dudes? Is that what it is? Because I don't post that on my timeline, but I'm sure you can find it elsewhere.
Yeah. Handsome Thursday.
There you go. Yeah, go find a Groiper's timeline. Maybe he'd post that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the Handsome Thursday stuff probably also has a cat tail, cat ears.
I mean, they kind of are, but like, I'm looks maxing, bro. And it's like, all right, like chicks don't give a fuck about that, right?
Did you see the video of the one dude, like the Zoomer, like it wasn't Klebicki or something like that. He's talking about how he was trying to hook up with a girl, but he couldn't get an erection because he was on Propecia, which is an anti-balding hair restoration drug. That's one of the side effects is sexual impotence.
What's the point of looking better if you can't fuck?
Yeah.
Like, do these drug companies not understand the reason I want to look better?
I actually have some personal experience on this because I started losing my hair in high school, and my mom put me on Propecia for about a year to see if that would help. Now, it didn't actually impact me sexually. I mean, or maybe if it did, like I was just such a stud, full of testosterone that I didn't notice. We stopped doing it because it didn't work. It slightly slowed my rate of hair loss, but the copays were too expensive. But there are dudes who will take that shit and their dick will stop working forever. There was another dude who wrote an article for Shenanagins back in the day about how he used Propecia. He got these mysterious pains in his joints. I actually got invited to a class action lawsuit circa, I think, 2008. All these dudes who had these terrible side effects from Propecia. I should have joined in. I didn't because I was being good guy Greg and was like, no, I didn't really have any lasting effects from it, so like whatever. I should have joined in and gotten all of $20 out of the class action lawsuit. But it's like, why would you take that shit? It's poison. I remember telling this to a trans friend of mine, and she was like, "Oh shit, they put 40 on HRT." That's basically what it is.
I remember a class action lawsuit I saw like ads for on TV where there was some acne medicine that was making people's assholes fall out. Like people were just getting like horrible Crohn's disease and shit from it to the point, and even some people had prolapses because they were just shitting themselves to death. And it's like, imagine that. It's like, well, my acne cleared up, but now I'm incontinent. Like,
it's like that weight loss thing from 20 years ago. I forget the name of it. Easy farts. Like, oh yeah, you lose weight, but now you have to wear a diaper.
I think a lot of that shit that some of these Zoomer guys are like fretting about, like the looks maxing shit, I'm like, I don't think any of that matters that much. Like, I don't think bald dudes have that hard of a time with women. I don't even think short dudes do. For as much as there's this discourse on online about like, oh, short guys can't get laid. It's like, I'm like pretty much dead average height. So I really don't have that problem, I guess. But I've known quite a few short dudes that just have no fucking problem. I don't think it
Yeah, I mean,
matters that much in the real world. I don't think
Yeah,
that
I
many
mean,
people give a shit in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 5'10", which again is fairly average for people my age. It's never been.
Oh, wait, you're like echoing really bad there, Forney. Can't hear you. For a second, it sounded like you're coming out of Silent Hill. There you are. You sound better now.
Okay. Yeah, I've been pretty much average height my entire life. I was going to say pretty much average height my entire life. No, I lost a few inches. But no, I'm average height. That hasn't hurt me. I've been shaving my head since I was 20 years old. That has. Women don't give a shit. The only people who ever give a shit about being bald are other men. And it's like, well, cool. Like, I'm straight. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if dudes think I look good. Like, I don't care. You know, I don't generally care what another man thinks of me unless I'm trying to get a job. And half the time, they're not even the ones interviewing.
It's like they psyop themselves into thinking. I mean, I hate talking about Kirill Vicky. He's obviously he's both a media construction, and that dude is like clearly getting pushed by some. He's probably getting fucked in the ass by some Israeli or something.
I don't doubt it, man. Like I said, a lot of this comes from like just people being terminally online too. Like there's a guy you and I both know him, but he's somebody that like used to be involved in all these manosphere circles that I still talk to, and you've routinely told me I shouldn't. But he was trying to tell me like.
I mean, if you want to talk to him, fine. I'm just not sure why you would. But
I just don't have a problem with him, is all it is. But he was trying to tell me, he was buying into the meme like all the chicks want black dudes. And I'm like, bro, that's just like a porn. I don't know what to tell you. That's not a real life thing. Like, it's not. You look at statistics, you look at the numbers on any dating site back when those were prominent. No, bro, it's not a thing. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not a thing now. I mean, white women are by far the most racist when it comes to dating now.
Like, yeah, I'm sure, like, and then you could point to, like, celebrities where it's like, well, this multimillionaire rapper or this fucking NBA player gets all these white chicks. And it's like, really? The millionaire athlete who's in really good shape and is also famous gets his choice of women? I'm shocked.
Yeah, I mean, you be honest with yourself. You'll notice two patterns of like black dudes with white women in your life. It's either like a really trashy black guy or a fat white chick that you wouldn't want, or it's like some clean cut guy who has his shit together with an attractive woman. Often military guys. A lot of the black guys go to the military and end up marrying white women. Actually, there's a whole phenomenon of conservative black guys marrying white women, like Clarence Thomas. In which case, who cares? It's I don't know.
Yeah, none of it's happening at any rate that anybody should give a fuck about. I don't know. People get caught up in a meme on that kind of thing where it's like, they're going to take all the women. And I'm like, no, that's something that some like weird white leftist is like fucking writing porno about. Like, it's not actually happening.
The only group that's having out marriages at rates where it would basically threaten their existence is Jews. Big fucking deal. There's like 61% of Jews marrying non-Jews, like particularly since 2010. And when it starts happening at that level to white people, like that's when you should be concerned. But like, it's not even close to that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just something to like get fucking upset about on Twitter, I guess. But, when you're terminally online, you're going to believe that shit because it's like, well, all the porno ads say it. And it's like, yeah, but it's porno. That's make-believe. It's not real. A lot of things happen in porno that don't happen in real life. Generally, if a girl walks in on you fucking her sister, it's not going to result in a three-way. I'm sorry to tell you there's no Santa Claus there, but...
Yeah, if a woman, if a woman doesn't have enough money to pay the pizza guy, she's not going to be paying you a blowjob. The police are going to get paid. Yeah,
and after a while, the pizza guy is just going to be like, "Look, I need money. The boss wants money from me." Like he could maybe tolerate one of those a night, but after that, he's like, "No, man, I need the money." Well, so when am I going to get my sub, Forney?
Well, when am I going to get mine?
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, when Thomas Massey wins his primary on Tuesday, I get a sub at Bruno's from Forney.
I mean, that's going to be tough given that he's trailing in almost every poll.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Hillary was like at 104% chance to win.
When you quit bringing that up, because number one, that was 10 years ago, and number two,
Okay, like Kamala was at 104% chance to win.
he wasn't even like number two. That whole polls are inaccurate. Over and over again, that only applies to Trump himself. Pretty much every rest of the time, like the polls in aggregate tend to be pretty accurate. Like when the polls predicted that the Democrats would win the 2018 midterm, that's what happened. Well, 2020 is it's kind of a questionable subject. 2022 said the Republicans would win. They did by not a big margin. And if we want to narrow it down to specific polls, Qantas Insights currently has Ed Galloway leading by 5 points. Well, they've had a pretty good run this primary season. Most notably, they predicted that in the Louisiana Senate race for the Senate primary, the Republican primary, the incumbent Bill Cassidy would come in third, which is exactly what happened. And now, Beckloff, like, I want you to explain to me why do you think Massey is going to win, and like divorce it from any like you have the guy, divorce it from your biases.
No, I think he'll probably win. I think that.
I'm curious to think what you're thinking.
Now that said, though, I don't know. You know, I don't bet more than I can afford to lose. I can afford to just buy a fucking sub. I will say this though: if he does win, if he does lose, that's a bad thing. That is 100% a bad thing. And look, Massey has his problems specifically on the border. I wouldn't be comfortable voting for him for president because of that. But I want him into Congress, and I want him in Congress if for no other reason than it's the one Republican in Congress that doesn't have an APAC guy. I want one. Just give me one. Just give me a bit of sovereignty over my nation here. That I can have one person in the Republican Party that isn't paid for by a foreign government. I don't know. And it's also telling that all the stops have been pulled out by all the wall touchers and all the chicken swingers to get Massey out of here. Trump seems a lot more concerned about that than he is even whether or not he loses the House and Senate.
He's concerned about getting rid of someone who has obstructed his agenda, which has motivated a lot of what's going on. Cassidy is out because he voted
I don't know, man. When gas is $5 a gallon and we got a war in Iran, I think maybe the agenda needs a little obstruction. I'm not happy with this agenda anymore. I wanted the fucking Epstein files declassified. That's not the most important thing in the world, but there's no good reason not to do it. And then I didn't want a war in Iran. I voted specifically against the war in Iran. The one good thing about Trump's first term is he didn't fuck around with these wars. It's the only campaign promise I get is half-ass fucking deportations. And that's not enough considering they're probably going to lose power in 2 to 4 years. So it ain't happening fast enough.
First off, the Epstein files were declassified. You can go look at them right now. That happened 3 months ago. Number two, like, I'm not happy about the gas prices either. But I've laid out the argument repeatedly, on Twitter. This was a maneuver to harm China. Same as why Trump went after Maduro in Venezuela. It's about crushing the international energy markets. So America controls it, which is basically what's going on right now. Is the fact that gas is $5 a gallon? It's a side effect of that. It's a bad side effect that will probably harm Republicans come November. But I believe that in a couple of years, this is going to benefit America dramatically. Like,
okay, well, I don't believe that that's why this is happening. And I'm going to take the word of people who are making this happen. Everyone that has pushed this war has told me it's for Israel. Marco Rubio told me that. Mike Huckabee told me that. Trump has told me that numerous times, that we're defending our good buddy Israel, who didn't do nothing. That's everyone who's pushing this war is telling me this. Now you're telling me it's this big secret plan to fuck over China. And that may be true, but I'm pressing X to doubt because it seems like the reason this war is happening is because a foreign country wants it, and that foreign country happens to have bribed or blackmailed most of my elected officials.
Have you considered they could be both at the same time? Like,
I mean, I guess, but I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this foreign fucking country owning 99% of the Republicans and 70% of the Democrats because their interests don't align with us most of the fucking time. They get us into fucking trouble. They cause us fucking problems. And I gotta deal with a bunch of evangelicals who think it's cool because they saw a Kirk Cameron movie and they're gonna end the world somehow with it. And I got to deal with a bunch of chicken swingers that don't even think I'm a human being who think it's fucking cool. And I'm tired of the wall touchers and I'm tired of the chicken swingers.
As an aside from the audience, like Beckloff told me what a chicken swinger was earlier today, and it's so funny.
I love that term because it's specific. It means a specific type of Jew too. Like if I say chicken swinger, no one's thinking of Mel Brooks. Okay. Like no, you're thinking of a specific thing. You're thinking of maybe Ben Shapiro, but you're not thinking of just some random Jew running a deli somewhere. You're not thinking Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld's probably not a chicken swinger.
It's funny that I discovered when we were talking about that. They can substitute the chicken swinging for money.
Of course.
This is like something that even a white man couldn't come up with.
Because the moment Christ came, what became modern Judaism, which in my opinion is the thing that broke off. I believe that Christianity is the actual continuation of the Old Testament. But what became modern Judaism is nothing but trying to trick God. There's actually something in the Talmud, and everybody points to a lot of the more fucked up verses in there, but there's actually a rabbi in the Talmud, and I wish you could find it again, who was complaining that all the supernatural stuff in Judaism stopped working after Christ. Which to me sounds like something you should probably take as a sign.
Well, that's interesting. I actually remember reading years ago that the practices of Christianity, like even when you consider the variances between Catholicism, Protestantism, and whatnot, are actually the practices of the Israelites during Jesus' time. It was the Jews who changed their practices to distinguish themselves from Christians.
Yes. Modern Judaism is the offshoot. Like, and that's why every evangelical is like, Israel is the chosen people. And I'm like, no, they're not. God's people, according to Christianity, are those in Christ. Whether or not the nation state of Israel has some sort of end times role is a whole fucking bag of worms. But they're not God's people.
You can also take the Stephen Anderson view that the Jews are a chosen people of sorts, and that God keeps them around for the same reason that Heinrich Heine said that every German classroom should have a stuffed Dutchman as a bad example to the youth. Now, that's something he said in the sermon. The idea that God keeps the Jews around as a bad example to everyone else.
I mean, maybe. I think that's why Ethan Ralph still lives.
Is he Jewish?
No, but he's got to be God's favorite retard. I don't know how else he's not dead.
God has a special providence for fools, children, and Ethan Ralph.
Ethan Ralph can't be killed. You could like blow up dynamite in his face. He'd just wipe away soot like a Looney Tunes character. It'd be fine.
But I mean, going back to the sensual aspect of it, I don't believe the whole Israel thing, at least as it pertains to the Kentucky primary, isn't right here. And I point this out repeatedly. Thomas Massey's largest donor is a Zionist Jew named Jeff.
Okay, but then why is AIPAC going after him? See, I keep hearing this, like, well, there's a rich Jew that donates it to him, and it's like, okay, but still, there's one Republican who doesn't bend the knee to AIPAC, and he's the one that we have to destroy. That's too much of a coincidence to look past. Because there's other Republicans that waver on the wall, that are terrible, that vote with Democrats from time to time, that waver up constantly. There's all sorts of wishy-washy fucking Republicans. But the one that Trump has to destroy, the one he doesn't even seem to care that much if he loses the House or Senate as long as Thomas Massey is gone, is the one that doesn't take AIPAC money. Well, none of them should be taking AIPAC money. I want AIPAC to be registered as a foreign fucking lobby and just gone. I don't want Congress taking money from any other government, by the way. I don't want foreign flags waved in my fucking Congress ever again. I'm tired of that. I don't care if they're Israel, Ukraine, fucking Palestinian, whatever the hell they are.
So
if it were up to me, you'd be lined up against the wall for doing that.
So what you're saying is that you're opposed to Thomas Massey taking money from Muslim lobbies, which is something he has done. It is all in the FEC filings. He is heavily supported by an Iranian front group.
Yes, he shouldn't do that. I would not allow any foreign lobbies to be giving money. I don't think there's any reason for that.
The central issue that everyone is ignoring in this is immigration.
But here's my point. Did Thomas Massey bend the knee to them? Because the thing about AIPAC money is you have to get an AIPAC guy to get the AIPAC money. So did these Iranian groups demand to have a guy that tells Thomas Massey how to vote? If so, then fuck Thomas Massey. But if he just took money from him, that's a different scenario. And lots of people give you lots of money when you're a politician. But the point is, AIPAC demands a certain amount of strings attached. And that's why there's one guy who wouldn't take it. Now, there's some Democrats that wouldn't take it, but they're usually crazy fucking Muslim people that don't belong in this country for a number of reasons. But most of the Democrats are bought and paid for by AIPAC, too. So it's not just a Republican thing.
There's multiple factions here at play. It's like when people thought Zara Mamdani would be good because he'd stick to the Jews. His largest campaign donors were liberal Jews. He was palling around with George Soros' son not long after the election. There's a whole level of complexity here. AIPAC is just one. One head of the dragon, as it were.
It's not specifically Jews I have a problem with. There's a lot of American Jews that are quite fucking sick of Israel. Like, I don't hate the fucking Jews. I mean, sometimes I'm not fond of how they fucking behave, but I don't hate Jews just for them being Jews. But no, I don't want a foreign government having a particular sway over my country. And a lot of foreign governments have way too much sway. There's Democrats that are fucking Chinese spies openly and shit. And that needs to come to an end as well. But there's one in particular that seems to be the grand champion of fucking undermining my country's sovereignty.
Okay, that's fair. But the factor in the race is not AIPAC as much as people would like to make it. It's immigration. The reason Jeff Yass is supporting Massey, despite Yass is not simply just a random Zionist donor. He's heavily involved with writing Israeli government policy through one of his think tanks. And he does the exact same thing as AIPAC. He funds primary challengers to progressive Democrats who are anti-Israel. The reason he's supporting Massey is because he's an open borders globalist, and Massey has been the primary obstructor of Trump's immigration agenda. That's what it comes down to.
See, I keep hearing this, but it's not like that the Republicans have a one-person fucking lead in the House.
No, they have a 5-person lead. Which
okay,
just
so why aren't the other 4 that don't vote for us the thing that we actually have to send fucking Skynet Terminator robots after? Why is it always the one guy again that ain't taking the AIPAC money? You know what? If they put up some closed borders guy who wasn't taking AIPAC money, I'd say fuck Thomas Massey. But no, I just want one fucking guy in the Congress at this point that ain't taking AIPAC money. I would just sleep a little more soundly at night to know that next time there's another stupid war Israel wants to drag us into, at least one guy raises his hand and says this is stupid.
The other factor
for the record.
The other factor is political loyalty. I think Trump would care less about Massey if Massey was voting with him on crucial bills.
That is exactly true because Donald Trump measures all manners of morality in whether or not you're kissing his ass. That's kind of a flaw with him, and it always has been.
Loyalty is how you get things done in politics. It's the Democrats don't seem to have a problem with this. We don't have individual Democrats peeling off because they want to be independent thinkers. No,
but you're supposed to. That's how it's supposed to. You're supposed to be representing your district, and you're supposed to be voting your conscience.
We don't live in should land. We have to work with the political situation as it is. If you have a situation where one party always votes in lockstep but the other one has like 1 or 2 or 3 defectors who want a grandstand, then guess which one's always going to get their way? And this is why
Yeah, I bet the guy that stands up for his fucking principles is probably going to get some compromises. But good for him. You're supposed to do that. They're all supposed to be doing that. I don't want them to just vote in lockstep with the party because sometimes the Republican Party is really fucking stupid. Like, they're not as stupid as the Democrats, and that's why I tend to vote for them most of the time. But sometimes they come up with really terrible ideas. I mean, wasn't Massey like one of the one guys who voted against putting kill switches in your car?
Okay, I'll give him credit on that.
I mean, it was like, what, maybe 10 people that did that?
I don't hate Massey for everything he's done. He's done a lot of good things. I actually think he's a very intelligent guy. Like the videos he occasionally posts of like the gizmos he builds in his garage, that's A+ content. You know, and also one very good thing he did was he was trying to stand up to COVID lockdowns at the very beginning.
Yeah, he voted against the COVID lockdown, which, by the way, Trump was pressuring him to do. Trump was pressuring him to vote yes on the COVID shit, and he said no.
Well, it's not just that. He forced the entire House to reconvene because he wouldn't go along with the whole.
Yeah, I want a guy like that in Congress. I want at least one guy like that in Congress. People call it grandstanding. I call it a fucking conscience. Like, I want at least one guy. I would rather Ron Paul be doing that, but he's 140 right now. So that's not an option. Maybe we can get Ron Paul's fucking head in a jar like Futurama, and then we could replace Massey with him.
Yeah, but Ron Paul was smart in that he retired from Congress at the top of his game. Like, the thing is, like, the principles stand, whatever. That doesn't work when you only have a 5-seat majority. If there were like 250 Republicans in the House, nobody would give a damn about Massey.
This is the other thing that frustrates me. Forney, a year ago, I thought we were going to sweep the midterms. A year ago, we were pushing Doge cuts. The only foreign entanglement we did was that Venezuela shit, which even a fucking old school non-interventionist like me was like, I guess that's fine. It was kind of cool. You know, we did it right. I guess it's fine. A year ago, it looked like we were going to butt fuck the Democrats in the primary or in the midterms. And then all of a sudden, yeah, there was the fucking up of the Epstein files. You know, there was all the mishandlings of that at the very least. And then there was, hey, now we're in a war with Iran. That whatever the super secret reason involving China may or may not be, it sure as hell looks like this smaller country that shouldn't be bossing us around bossed us around into doing it. And it doesn't look like it's going well because the strait is closed and then it's not, and then it's closed and then it's not, like fucking duck season and rabbit season in the Looney Tunes cartoon. Well, I mean, and gas is $5 a gallon right now. And the fertilizer issue is going to probably bite us in the ass here in a month or so. So, like, the Republicans dropped the ball here. The Republicans snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. This is the Republican Party's fault as a whole that we're in this position. They shouldn't be concerned about Massey because they should be about ready to take that 5-man lead to a 10-man lead. But now they might lose both houses. They're probably going to lose one.
Yeah, I mean,
because they wasted their political capital on shit they shouldn't have been doing.
Well, yeah, the house is sketchy. I mean, even with the gerrymandering that's done in the South and the Virginia plan, it's going to be a tough call to hold the House. They're going to hold the Senate. Like, the Democrats have no, short of a Great Depression, you know, what starting nuclear war with Russia level meltdown. Like, the Democrats are not getting.
The House is always shakier because every 2 years there's only a third of the Senate that's even up for play, you know, and the House, every congressman has to win every single 2 years. So yeah, the House is always the one that shifts fastest.
But it just comes down to a central issue of loyalty on key things. Now, you pointed out that there are other Republicans who've been shakier on these issues than Massey has, and they haven't been targeted. But there's specific situations. I can name 2 off the top of my head. There's Mike Lawler who represents a district in the Hudson Valley of New York. who co-sponsored that amnesty bill, he's getting a free ride for one simple reason. The Republicans need to hold on to every House seat they can. He's running for re-election, and despite the Democrats trying to gerrymander him out 2 years ago, he won re-election by a pretty healthy margin. And the same is going on with with Maria Elvira Salazar, who came up with the bill. She represents a swing district in Miami. Again, the Republicans need to hold on to every seat they got. I'd say part of the reason Massey is being targeted is in part because he represents such an overwhelmingly Republican district. Like, whether he wins the primary or Gallery does, like, that seat's not going Democrat in a million years. The political process is a series of compromises to in service of a greater political program. Massey is being targeted because he wouldn't get along with that program. Now
but it looks like the program is being run by another country. That's the problem. It looks like the loyalty problems that we have with Massey are about being loyal to a fucking wall that everyone likes to touch. That's the problem with this. This doesn't seem like he betrayed Trump. No, it seems like he betrayed Netanyahu, is what everybody's upset about. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong, but I certainly can't shake that perception right now that all of this is about one fucking thing. And it's about a thing that happens to be something he's right on. Nobody should be loyal to him. No, none of this should be happening at all. I shouldn't see Israel. I can't remember his name, but there's a member of Congress. I believe it's Congress and not Senate, because I can't remember his name, but who showed up to fucking vote on things in an IDF uniform.
Brian Nash from Florida.
Okay, well, that should be something where he's taken out back and executed for treason. A sane nation would have arrested him for that. Our founding fathers would have tarred and feathered him on the spot. Like, you're in our fucking halls of Congress in a foreign government's fucking military uniform. And other countries have sway over us, but I don't see anybody in a fucking Chinese military uniform voting on shit.
Well, the Eric Swalwell, but yeah.
Well, he's fucking Chinese hooker. Yeah, he's fucking Chinese spies. And yeah, he should be taken out back too and put in a guillotine.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong.
I disavow all violence, but I agree with the general principle of that kind of policy.
He should be tried and executed under the law as a traitor.
Are you trying to get me arrested, dude?
I said he should be tried. He should be charged with treason.
Okay, we're being.
He should be through due process, charged with treason, and executed.
Okay. So long as we're respecting the
he is guilty of treason on a legal level, as far as I'm concerned, and so is the guy in the IDF uniform.
I always thought it was absurd that guy goes around this uniform. He has a missing leg. So
I don't care. He should have a missing head. I don't care if he has a missing leg. Okay, he's walking around in my halls of Congress in a foreign military uniform. I want him in the guillotine facing up because I want him to see the blade coming. That's the one thing the French did wrong in the French Revolution. They should have made him face up. Well, he has a missing leg. He has a missing leg, I bet, fighting for a foreign country. Is that how he got it? Is that how he lost his leg? I don't want any of this to be happening. I'm so tired of it. I'm paying for walls over there and not over here. I'm tired of it. Enough. It's got to stop. It's got to fucking stop at some point. We can't live like this. This is demoralizing. Like, this is just obviously not us having sovereignty. It is demoralizing. If nothing else, just the spiritual aspect of this is demoralizing. We're fucking occupied, and I want it to end. So yeah, I know he's gay on the border. I know Massey's gay on the border. He's a typical libertarian that lives in a fucking fantasy world of open borders. And I get that. I'm a libertarian at heart. I would love it if we lived in a fucking magical land of open borders. And if the whole world was first world and free, maybe that would be great. but we don't live in that fucking world. Close the fucking border. But like, I'm sorry, find me a closed border guy that isn't taking money from AIPAC, and I'll say fuck Thomas Massie. But I don't want to vote for the guy who's, waving around his fucking military service, which just at this point now makes me think of Dan Crenshaw and John McCain. And he's also like, we should have a draft. And I know he's probably not going to succeed in making that happen. But still, I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. That's awesome. I want more. Don't get me wrong. I hate the Zoomers, and the draft would be funny, but I still don't want it to happen.
Well, you can't even laugh at it anymore, because realistically, if the draft came back, like at least half of them would be for it. They're all on brain pills, and their penises don't work.
A draft would be funny. Admittedly, it would be funny, but still, the fact that he's even suggesting it, and the fact that he's talking about all this weird Kirk Cameron end times Left Behind shit about, like, I don't want people in a doomsday cult to be running our foreign policy.
Well, I mean, it sounds like red meat for boomers, which is part of the reason why I'm confident.
But yeah, but all the things boomers love are terrible.
Well, we kind of have to just live with it. I mean, I wrote a bit about this. I was interviewing people with Casey Butch's campaign in Ohio a couple of weeks back. One of them told me is, I forget what he told me that they went around showing Vivek Ramaswamy's Christmas crash out to boomer voters to try and get people to vote for Casey Butch. The boomers fucking agreed with Vivek. They were like, yeah, these kids are damn lazy. That actually backfired on the Butch campaign in a major way.
Yeah, but like that's bad though. Like the boomers are selling out the boomers are why we're in this problem in the first place, by the way. On most things, the boomers are why we have an open border. I know that the act in the 60s that made it so we didn't heart color. Yeah, thank you. I know that was more the silent generation and all, but nonetheless, the boomers have held power for shocking amounts of time, longer than any generation should. And they've completely fucked us. They've completely sold us out to Israel, to China, to every other witch fucking country, to Mexico even. So yeah, and the boomers are retarded. And they're evil and they're narcissistic as a whole. Yes, there's great boomers. My father's a great man. But as a whole, they're insanely narcissistic. And it's like anytime the boomers are like, yeah, this is great, it's probably terrible.
Yeah, that's my biggest grievance with Trump is that a lot of his policies are just boomer handouts. Like insane and basically trying to artificially maintain high home prices. That benefits exactly one group of people. I don't like any of that shit. But the problem is, if you want to get elected, you have to go through the boomer vote. Like, there's two levels on which you can think about this. There's a philosophical level where we talk about how the country should be, and there's the political level of how do we get there? What are the practical steps? The simple reality that we're going to have to deal with the boomer vote for at least another 5 years. I
understand that, Matt, but my point with like Massey, and this is why I always supported Ron Paul, even on a handful of times I didn't agree with him, is you're talking about the House, talking about a body that has 500 plus members. What is it, 550 now, something like that?
435.
Oh, is it? I thought it was still above 500. I think it was above 500 at some point. I know the number goes up and down with districts changing. I thought it was above 500, whatever. Point is, hundreds of motherfuckers. In a room of hundreds of motherfuckers, I want at least one pure ideologue who is thinking purely in terms of principle. Just one. Just a Jiminy Cricket fucking voice of the conscience there. I want a guy. I want at least one guy that ain't fucking sucking an AIPAC dick. That's another big one to me.
That's fair. I respect all that. And like in another environment, like I could probably be on your side. The issue is getting through this. The issue is getting through the agenda, the Trump agenda. And I know parts of me disagree, but like if it's between Trump,
we're not getting the Trump agenda in 2 years anyways because we're going to lose the House. Come January, it's not going to be Thomas Massie, whether he's in office or not, that's going to be blocking shit.
My view is that the
You're
Democrats,
gonna have to be kissing AOC's ass and Nancy Pelosi's ass to get shut down. Oh, actually, I think she retired finally.
Oh, she's retiring.
By the way, do you ever see the movie Bulworth? I brought this up a couple years ago. Good movie, actually. But that movie came out in 97, took place in the 96 election cycle. And as I was watching it about 2 years ago, I think it was now, I was amazed at how many of the names are still in power. Like the elected officials either had just died or retired, media figures were still around. You know what I mean? Maybe not as relevant, but like Chris Matthews, like still around, you know what I mean? And I was just like, imagine in 96 watching a movie that took place in a 1960s election cycle and all those people were still in office. Like the boomers need to go. Like
it's kind of absurd that Nancy Pelosi was the Democratic House leader when I was in high school, and she was the Democratic House leader when I was in my early 30s.
Like our last election before Biden stepped out, we were arguing over which of these 80-year-old men should be president. And it's not a position we should be in.
Well, the good news is that we're going to skip right over and have President J.D. Vance.
Yeah, we're not getting any Gen Xers in power, which is fine.
Fine. Technically we had Obama,
but yeah, we're skipping right to millennials. We're going to have the Xbox generation in power.
By the way, here's another way for you back off. There won't ever be a Zoomer president either. Because guess what? Millennials outnumber Zoomers, like by a large factor. That's why I say we're only going to have to live with the Boomers for another 5 years.
If there's going to be a Zoomer president, I'm going to call this right now. And when we're old in the retirement home, you could see if you could, as I'm still playing with my Ninja Turtle figures when I'm 80, and my Haitian nurse is stealing my money, you'll be able to see if I was right. If there's a Zoomer president, it's going to be a woman. I guarantee you. Because the women of that generation and they're still fucked up, don't get me wrong, but they have more fucking balls, metaphorically. 100%.
They're also more radical, so that's actually kind of
that's why they're all dating Dan Baltic.
Shout out to Dan Baltic. And not just because I polished it, it's a great novel. But my view is that if Zoomers get a president, it's good. They're going to end up in office when they're 80 years old, and they're going to get in like Joe Biden.
No, I think it'll skip to Gen Alpha. I think it'll skip a generation. Again, this is all assuming that, you know, we haven't blown up the world for a fucking patch of sand in the desert.
I think we'll be fine. We're on the long, bloody path towards taking our country back from everyone. There's going to be obstacles, but overall, I'm positive about the future. Not the immediate future, but the long-term future. It's like you said years ago, over a decade ago. Like, our children's lives are probably going to suck, but our grandchildren will live in paradise.
I would certainly hope so. I want a lot of things to be going a lot better. I'm very frustrated and unhappy with Trump right now, more so than I ever have been, really. But I mean, I voted for him 3 times, and it's not like I had a better option any of those 3 times. So, I mean, I'll probably vote for J.D. Vance. I mean, you know, but it's just frustrating to me because here's my mental state. I watched for about 10 years where it looked like we were really digging the Republican Party's head out of its ass. And then for a hot minute in Trump's second term, it looked like I had a president that was governing like he was Pat Buchanan mixed with a little bit of Ron Paul. And I had a 10-foot long erection with a bald eagle perched on the tip. And it was fucking amazing. And then I kind of watched that all evaporate. And now he just sounds a lot more like George W. Bush again. And I don't like it. Because, yeah, for most of my adult life, the Republican Party was the thing I usually voted for because they were better than the Democrats most of the time. But they still sucked. And I'm tired of that, man. I'm tired. I'm old, I'm fat, and I'm tired.
You want something to vote for as opposed to something to vote against.
Yeah, most presidential elections I voted against. The first one I voted for was in 2004, and I voted actually for Kerry. And I didn't like Kerry at all, but I just was like, fuck Bush. And then in 08, I think I wrote in Ron Paul or some shit like that. In 2012, I voted for fucking Romney. I didn't like Romney. Romney fucking sucks. But fuck Obama. And then in 2016, for the first time in my adult life, I had somebody to vote for. And in 2020, I was kind of things hadn't gone. Like the whole last year of Trump's his first term was a fucking disaster. 2020 was a fucking disaster. And a lot of it, if it wasn't his fault, it was his responsibility. He let it happen. But then in 2024, I go vote for him again. And I watch all the Kamala people cry, and it was hilarious. And then he's just out of the gate with all this cool shit. And it seems like that's just kind of evaporated away.
Well, deportations are happening. Lots of good things are happening. I mean, the Supreme Court ruling on the freight broker issue, it's already taking Indian truckers off the roads. Because now freight brokers can be found liable in court if a trucking company they hired causes any accidents. So there's not going to be any more Mohammed Singh flying into a kindergarten.
I make U-turn, sir. Oh God.
Look, man, things could be better. I talk about this all the time, but the overall direction is positive.
Well, on the deportations, my biggest worry has been: is it fast enough? Clock's ticking on whether or not the Republicans hold power. And is it fast enough? I want a wall. I don't want a fence. I don't want guards. I want a wall. I want something solid that if and when a Democrat gets in power, they'd have to actually tear down.
Well, Trump has already introduced enough instability that the Democrats...
And I kind of want a northern wall, too, by the way. Starting to think we need a fucking northern wall.
I want a northern trench with laser cannons. Make a moat like the gunrunners HQ would fall out, fill it with radioactive sludge, and then just see death falls around.
Just landmines. just landmines, and if you make it across, well, that's it. Let's play a game about it. Let's have some fun.
But yeah, the biggest worry for me is not the Democrats. The Democrats will eventually get in power. Again, that's just the nature of the two-party system. I don't want to end up in a situation like Argentina, where we live in a state of constant political instability. Demographic change is not going to the whole Republicans will be partly locked down of power because of ex-democratic change, demographic change. The Democrats been saying it for 20 fucking years, and that date just keeps getting pushed back into the background. But you know what's going to happen? We end up like a Latin American country where there's a communist party in power for 4 years, and then a fascist party, and then a communist party. Again, you end up like fucking Argentina, where there isn't going to be some major collapse, Mad Max scenario. It's just slow, imperceptible decline until a century later, bus drivers are getting paid more than college graduates, and there's a mandatory there's a mandatory number of truths that have to be employed in the public service, and everyone is crushed, and there's no hope of having hope.
Well, that's worse than a collapse, because a collapse people respond to and rebuild. But when it's the slow fucking decline, then there's nobody to rebuild because nobody knows any better.
No, there will never be a collapse as people fantasize about it.
Yeah, if waking up tomorrow and the zombies have come would be a better outcome than the slow burn into the fucking abyss that we've been cursed with.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, going back to deportations, if they're happening fast enough, the Trump administration has replaced so many immigration judges that a lot of legal aliens just get out. They're just self-deporting because they're like, oh, we're not going to get a hearing. And if we get a hearing, they're just going to tell us in the court anyway. They just fucked off and they aren't coming back. I mean, right before I moved out of New York, I noticed that there was a noticeable decrease in the number of unidentified brownoids on the subway and on New Jersey transits. To the point where you've got entire buses now that are just running empty or mostly empty. It's having an effect. Whether that effect is fast enough, I mean, that's debatable. I mean, I wish it could be faster, but again, We don't live in should land. I'm happy with the general direction things are going.
Well, I'm not thrilled with this whole Iran war shit. I'm pleasantly surprised it hasn't gone as bad as I thought it would, because we haven't been dumb enough to send boots on the fucking ground yet. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. I hope it's not going to happen, and if it does, I don't think it's going to go well. I don't think it's going to go well at all, and I think that's part of the reason it hasn't happened.
I mean, right now, Netanyahu pretty clearly wants a forever war, and Trump is repeatedly told to shut the fuck up. Like Trump would prefer to just make a deal. A friend of mine described it like this: Trump is interested in regime change, so much more interested in regime compliance. He doesn't care if he runs these shithole slums and not fucking with America.
I will give Trump the credit here, a backhanded compliment, that if we had any other Republican and probably any other Democrat, we'd have boots on the ground in Iran right now. We'd be an intractable butt fucking mess. And we haven't gone that far down this hole yet. But we shouldn't be as far as we are. Like, this is, I'm not seeing a lot of benefit. Like, maybe in the long term it fucks China, I guess. But like right now, it seems like it's benefiting only one country, and that country ain't us.
Well, it's benefiting oil and gas. All the refineries on the coast of Texas and Louisiana are doing this business. So everyone has to buy from us now. And keep in mind, like, the gas prices here and the energy prices, that's bad. But in fucking India, Thailand, they're facing down the barrel of outright energy shortages.
Oh yeah, Europe's getting fucked worse too. Like, we're not getting as bad as we could, but I still don't want fucking gas being $5 a gallon, and that's like a nationwide average. There's places where it's like fucking 7 or 8.
Yeah,
now that's like California, where it's because of a lot of other reasons, but
yeah, they just tax the fuck out of everything in California. I mean, I was surprised to find out that like gas is actually gas is cheaper in New York than it is in Pennsylvania.
I don't doubt that. We have a stupid gas tax here, which is funny because our roads suck. The gas tax to pay for the road, and our roads are dog shit. Like, you cross the border into Maryland, you can instantly feel it in your fucking tires. Like, just oh, it's a smooth road. I guess I'm in Maryland now. And Maryland's a corrupt blue fucking state, but I tell you what, they know how to run fucking infrastructure. They even deal with a whole bunch of environmental regulations because of the Bay, and they still manage to keep their infrastructure up to, like, that's the one thing with Maryland. God bless them. They get their infrastructure fucking good, except in Baltimore. Baltimore is just, they're going to wall off Baltimore at some point. Just forget it's there. But for most of the state, the infrastructure is good. The roads are fucking good. When there's an accident, they have professionals that, I mean, none of this volunteer fire department horseshit. They have professionals that come in, take pictures of it for the insurance companies, make sure, see who needs medical attention, and push that shit off to the side. Like, they don't fuck around.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, you get a bad accident up here in PA, the fucking clowns, the volunteer fire departments and shit, they'll have that road closed for a day. Down in Maryland, it's like 30 minutes and then it's like it didn't even happen.
Well, from my understanding, a lot of highway funding and road funding in Pennsylvania is shut it off to, like, as well as trooper funding, shut it off to individual counties in the state. That's when you get these disparities where it's like I once was going down I-80, coming back from Pittsburgh, going back to New York. I was going down 90 miles an hour, and no one fucking stopped. That's very clearly an unsafe street. Whereas any crossing in New York, or if it's fucking speed line, every glass.
Oh yeah, New York will nail you. I got nailed with a speeding ticket up there, and I actually, when I paid it, I kept the receipt because I knew they'd double dip, and they tried to. You didn't pay. And I was like, sent a letter. I'm like, yeah, I did pay. Your state lives up to its reputation. I'm not, the next correspondence will be from a lawyer. Leave me alone.
When was this? And I'm sure they attached a whole bunch of things to it.
It would have been 2016 because I knew I was going up to a con up in Syracuse. I think it was a game con.
Oh, that was the one where you met Pat Manning.
Yeah, and I had the MAGA hat on, and he was super nice. Pat's like very professional. He doesn't. I think he's a liberal, but I haven't really heard him spout off about that in a lot of his content. And he's, I'm sure if you walked up to Lindsay Ellis in a MAGA hat, she'd scream rape. I'm sure if you walked up to Movie Bob in a MAGA hat, he'd try and fight you.
But now the whole structure in New York was that the taxes became governor of the 90s, promising to lower taxes. But what he did was he lowered taxes and they just attached a mandatory fee. Well, that's the way to pay a traffic ticket in New York. Like the ticket itself was only like, I don't know, $50. And then they had a county processing fee and a state processing fee that sold it for about $400.
Yeah, I noticed all the fees on that fucking ticket were ridiculous. I think the fee was, I think the actual fine was like $80 and the total came to like 200 some odd. Yeah, he just nailed me going like 80 down a fucking highway. It wasn't even that bad, but it's just like, yeah, fuck you. You're 15 over. I'm going to nail you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we've gone on for about an hour and a half. I think this was a pretty good conversation. Matt is going to have to join a pagan cult now because he disagreed with a friend. That's how it works on the internet. I'm told.
I've already got my blue dick name out.
No, Matt and I are good buddies. He's just wrong on this, and that's okay. He's allowed to be wrong.
Well, I'm going to savor the wrongness when I'm fighting as my subject in a month or so.
When I win my sub, I think I'm gonna get the portobello or the spicy Italian. Those are my two favorites. Bruno's is such a good sub place that I actually love their vegetarian option. That's how fucking good they are. Like I will sometimes go in there and be like, just give me the portobello. I want the portobello sub.
Yeah, I'm in Texas for about a month now. I already miss Hodes. I already miss good subs because they don't really know that at all. It was funny considering that a good portion of the population in Austin is from New York. But no, they haven't gotten the sub stash down yet.
Is the barbecue at least good down there?
Oh, the barbecue's great.
Yeah, I always hear about the Texas barbecue, and I'm always wondering if they're just blowing it out their ass on that.
Oh, no. Brooklyn barbecue is fucking disgusting. Now, Texas, I think still give the edge to Tennessee barbecue, but Texas is a good second choice.
See, I like the Tex-Mex food. I'm not big on Mexican per se, but I like Americanized Mexican food a lot. Like Americanized Mexican food is the tits. Like regular Mexican food where it's just like a bunch of refried bean slop and shit. That ain't good.
When they pour like a gallon of salsa on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like we don't even put cheese on the taco for some reason. I guess because Mexico's run by a Jew now. I don't know why. But maybe that's why that they don't put cheese on a taco down there. But that always floored me. Like every time I've had like authentic Mexican tacos, I'm like, this is really good. It needs cheese though. Like, why is there no cheese on this?
Well, it's a poverty food. It's a street food. Like, after upper class Mexicans, they go to American, French, Italian restaurants. A taco is something you eat when it's, when you're hungover or drunk, and you need something like that.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. We've gone on for about an hour and 40 minutes, damn near now. All right, folks, if you enjoy the content, streamlabs.com/thebackoff, paypal.me/thebackoff. Link to the Amazon wishlist down below. You can buy me some of the dumb shit that I like. And that's about it for tonight. Matt, thanks for coming on. It was a good stream. I'll be on Wednesday, 9 p.m. I'm thinking I might just move it permanently to 9 p.m. And that's about it for tonight, folks. Backoff out.